What's up YouTube? Hope everybody's doing good. The purpose of this video is to show you guys some of the stretching and foam rolling techniques I've been using to regain mobility in my upper back and flexibility in my chest. A lot of people tend to have this sort of like hunched over kind of upper cross posture all the time, sitting at our computers or texting on our phones and stuff. And that's something that I've been dealing with a lot, and it's kind of caused some issues and pain in my chest area and upper back. And so I'd like to show you guys some of the foam rolling techniques and stretches that I've been using. So this, I don't know if you can tell, this is kind of the posture that I'm talking about. See how this character here, he's kind of got his head forward, his shoulders are rounded. Basically what that means is the neck musculature and the upper trapezius and the chest, everything's just kind of tightened up, whereas the antagonistic muscles, they've been lengthened so they can't pull everything back to kind of correct that posture. And so the focus here is to show you guys what kind of stretches and techniques you can do to stretch out those muscles, or to relax those muscles, to massage those muscles that are too tight, that are overworking. So in the first part of this video, I introduced you guys to the tools that I've been using, the foam roller, the lacrosse ball, and these two lacrosse balls taped together, and kind of explain that these are some really useful, pretty cheap tools that you can get, that you can use at home. And if you think you have an injury, go see a doctor, because this isn't injury rehabilitation exercises. These are just kind of flexibility and mobility exercises. Because if you're just foam rolling and rolling things out and there's an issue with like the actual bone or the actual muscle or tear or something like that, you might actually like inflame it and make it worse. But if it's just tightness in the muscle, this is kind of some good exercises. So I'm gonna start with the most, I guess, the most gentle of the three tools, which is the foam roller. And you'll notice that I'm going to start with the legs. In fact, I'm going to start with the calves, because even the musculature in the legs can contribute to muscle imbalances, and it's good to just roll everything out. And since it is so hot in this garage, it's going to be another short video, so I'm just going to show you guys kind of the principle of how these things work and what foam rolling might actually look like. So my first go-to is going to be the calves, specifically the soleus, which is the part of the calf that's like on the outer side of the leg. And it's really simple. All you do is just apply as much weight as is comfortable. You're gonna feel, it might feel a little bit tender. That's okay. Treat it like you would a massage, because basically that's what it is. You're massaging out the muscle. Let it relax. Put as much weight as you can. If it's not enough, you can cross your legs over and add more weight that way. So I'll move up the leg to the hamstring. Again, cross the legs. If you need to add more weight or more pressure to the muscle group. And then you can flip over and roll out the quadriceps. Tightest part of the leg, I think, for most people is going to be the intertertiary band, which is that band that runs along the side of the leg. And you'll be able to tell because if you lay sideways, this leg's kind of pointing straight out. If you lay sideways and start rolling, you'll tell that it's really tender. And so you can keep this leg back here to kind of add a little bit of extra support, so that way it doesn't just hurt. Once you're done with that, the exercises are the stretches that have really helped me gain mobility in my upper chest, or in the upper back, the thoracic spine. First thing I'll do, so lay back with this right below where the shoulder blades are. Now that I lean back, I'm going to support the head, because again, we don't want to strengthen these muscles, we want to let them stretch. But as you go back, you might notice that the rib cage starts popping up. Flex the abs to prevent the rib cage from popping up, because you want to stretch the thoracic spine, not the lower lumbars. Let it come back. And really all that's doing, I don't know if you can tell, but it's basically putting the head and letting it relax and kind of stretch back. And so that way the neck musculature right here is getting stretched out. And it's really kind of helped me regain kind of like a corrective posture. But after that, I'll do the same technique, foam rolling, as I did with the legs, with the upper back. The best way to do that is just put your body weight on it. And right now you'll notice I'm foam rolling out the lats. Lats are associated with things like pull-ups and rows. So if you do those exercises a lot, one thing I'll notice is that if people do rows, the head will come forward. So what you're doing is you're strengthening those synergistic muscles to promote that kind of upper cross posture. Is to stretch them out, foam roll the muscles. So that way you can release some of the tension, some of the tightness that is in those muscles that's promoting that kind of posture. So moving on to the lacrosse ball, it's the exact same principle as the foam roller. Only thing with the lacrosse ball is it's more acute and it's more firm. So it's gonna get in and kind of dig into the muscle on, I guess, a deeper level. And you can use this for pretty much any part of the body. And as I said in the first video, I'd recommend leaning up against the wall or putting less weight on it first, because this is such a small thing and because it can dig into the muscle pretty good. You don't want to just create a lot of pain. You want it to be rolling out the muscle. So you can apply this to the calves, the hamstrings, you apply it to the quads as well. And what some people do, if they're really, really tight, you can just use your hand to roll it out. It works the same way with the chest as well. But what I've been doing, especially with the upper back, I've been putting it between the spine and the shoulder blades, the scapula, and just letting my head come back and practicing mobility movements with my arm. And right now it's even pretty tender. And it's those tender spots that you're looking for. You might even notice that you're rolling over some knots. So this is actually a perfect picture. I don't know how well you can see it. Let me move the camera a little bit. So in this picture, and this is pretty much the same spot that I'm feeling it at, you can see the trapezius right here, which is actually something that's really tight on me. They're calling it nodules within the muscle band. And these little things right here, they're contraction knots. So if you're overly contracting the muscle, overworking the muscle, it builds up these little knots. And those are basically the knots that you're trying to work out. That's the goal with using the lacrosse ball. Now, the two lacrosse balls that have been taped together, they have a really specific purpose, at least one really specific purpose that I've discovered. And the purpose of it that I explained in the previous video is to basically increase thoracic spine mobility by, let's say if this is the spine kind of sits in between in the groove here, and these are rolling out the muscles and tendons that are attached to the spine. So if it's really tight back there, this will help kind of release some of that tension, release some of those knots. And it's a little bit tricky to get yourself situated on it, and again, roll it against the wall before you just lay down on it, because it's pretty small and it could dig into the muscles too much and you don't want to hurt yourself. Lay it down like so. It'll take a little while and you'll have to adjust a little bit to get it perfect. And what I do is I cross my arms, so that basically opens up the shoulder blades, it opens up the spine, so that way it can stretch out those muscles. If the shoulder blades are in, you might end up just massaging out the shoulder blades, which is okay too if that's what you're targeting. What I'm targeting is those muscles, especially like the rhomboids that are connected right along the spine. And you treat it the same way as you do a foam roller, just use it to roll out the muscle. All right, that's it for this video. It's really hot in this garage, so I'm gonna go back inside and drink some water. Again, if you think you have an injury, go see a doctor, because these exercises are just to increase flexibility, increase mobility, and roll out those knots or those nodules that I pointed to in the textbook. I hope this is helpful for you guys. It's been really helpful for me. If it is, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. My goal is to create content that is useful for you guys. If you guys have a request or questions or some topic you'd like me to figure out, learn about, and then do a video over, just comment below. Thanks again. You guys have a great day.